Still loading. Okay. We are live. We're definitely live. So, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another Street Critique episode. Which one is it? I think 15.
Ooh, 15.
Yeah, 15. Yeah.
Oh,
Back from our summer break. And we have a guest today, as you might know. Let's switch to our special guest. Ta-da! Hey! GR Project New York episode.
We're definitely live. So, hello.
Yeah.
sorry. That was my computer.
So great to be back.
Yeah, it's the first time I think since we talked, since we met in New York, right?
I think so. Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. And it's great to have some social interaction during the pandemic. I'm always happy to talk to anyone really right now. So it's a real pleasure to be here with you too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're both.
What a pleasure.
And Jason and Matthias, you're both in New York, right? So you.
Yeah, I'm in upstate New York. I'm in the woods.
Okay.
Matthias is like still in the city doing his thing. I'm sure everybody knows who he is, but we were in one of your vlogs together where we shot during Christmas. That was the last time.
Oh yeah.
So what was that? Almost a year now.
Right.
Yeah, there was like just before everything started. Like you were lucky actually, Samuel, that you were able to do the episode before everything started. Man. Like this year, I heard so many people who are planning to come to New York, do some street photography here, and they all had to like scratch their plans and so yeah.
Yeah, it was my first time in New York, and I'm so glad I went in 2019.
Could you imagine if you got stuck here in New York? It came in 2020.
Longest GR Project episode ever then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How was we haven't been catching up, so how was 2020 for you, Matthias?
Well, so like for everyone, I guess, right? Like it's it's had its ups and downs. I would say more downs than ups. But it's been relatively okay for me personally. Like we've been hit pretty hard in the beginning of the year. Like March, April were really dark. Yeah. Being here in Brooklyn was really felt like my wife and I were in the middle of everything. But we were comparatively lucky. Like we both were able to keep our jobs and work from home. We don't have any kids, so it makes things a bit easier right now. But yeah, in terms of street photography, it has been a very difficult year. I wasn't really able to go out and shoot much in the beginning of the year, and then as summer came, things still feel like up to today. Things still feel really weird here. Like I went to Manhattan a couple of weeks ago. It's still so dead and different. But yeah, I kind of changed my style. Like I stopped shooting digital at some point, just gave it up because shooting the streets as I'm used to is just not possible at the moment. So I kind of slowed down a little bit, took a different approach, experimented a little bit with different formats, with different tools, and ended up shooting more film, which is quite a new experience for me because I haven't been shooting film in many years. So going back to that was quite an experience.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that, and it's funny how most photographers changed their approach in 2020 because it's just you just can't take photos the way you, especially when you shoot the way you do or we do, is mostly shooting 28 on your Ricoh and going close and trying to be as close as possible, right? But now it's not really that possible anymore, and yeah, I really like your new look.
Yeah, the film shots are gorgeous.
Yeah, I didn't know that these
Thanks,
are
guys.
medium format because they look so.
Yeah.
Are you shooting with the Fuji?
I'm shooting with this Fuji, which is kind of like a point and shoot medium format camera. It's weird. It's kind of weird. It feels like a point and shoot, like an oversized point and shoot camera, and it has a little flash unit up here and it has a little zoom. Even it makes funny sounds and gives it's very very weird. It's such a funny tool, It's like late 90s and it really screams I'm from the 90s. It's fun. It's been fun shooting with it and kind of slowed me down a little nappy as the Rico, for example. And it just changed the way I walk through the streets and approach my work. You see some street like the cops in front of that building. Yeah, right
some
here. Like, that
color
was shots. That was, obviously during the racial justice protest here in New York, where I kind of like I didn't really document the actual protest. I kind of tried to stay away from that a little bit because it was a weird time. When COVID was still around, as it still is, and it's quite difficult to like see what things will be up to. So I tried to show solidarity and support for the protests in other ways. But then I walked out and took some of these photos, and most of these photos you see here are in my neighborhood in Brooklyn. Basically documenting my walks, my everyday walks to the waterfront, to the East River waterfront. Like this one, for example, I love this one. It kind of catches the atmosphere for me. Like many of those photos catch the feeling, the atmosphere that I saw. Like so many of my neighbors and fellow Brooklyners use the waterfront as a refuge, as the only place they could go to that felt like calming yourself down, like watching the sunset and just like seeing Manhattan, seeing the skyline across the river, and knowing the city is still there.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
Like for many weeks, it wasn't even really possible to. Oh well, it was possible, but I didn't feel like even going to Manhattan. It just felt so scary to even get on the subway or anything, So for quite a long time, I just stayed here in my neighborhood. See, like these are some examples of street portraits I took. So which is quite unusual for me, like walking up to people, like talking to them. But I really enjoyed that. Just, as I said earlier, like any social interaction right now is welcome. So I experimented with that a little bit and got some really great connections with interesting people in the streets. I love this couple. And then, going back and forth to the same spots almost every night, almost every day, just gave me, a lot of opportunities to capture interesting scenes that you would otherwise not see, right? This is really just a small selection of photos. I will add more, and I'm working on something's coming together. I'm not sure what it is. Like the working title is Lost Summer, because that's what it felt like. Like it's the summer. It's like a lost year, and if you want. So, it's a slightly different approach. It's very personal, much more personal than much of my former work, and it's a bit of a diary of sorts. Documenting this really weird time in our lives.
Yeah.
I'll hear that. Well, it's looking beautiful already. I'm looking forward to seeing some more.
It's cool to see. It's good. This is what's nice about IG, right? You can see like your what you're doing at the moment, and this is like probably pre-COVID, I guess, and it's a totally different look, like.
Indeed.
Yeah, there are like if you go up a little bit, you see like I try to when you go up a little bit further, you see like there are some photos like this, like these ones that were captured during the early months of the pandemic, where I was shooting digital, going into Manhattan, just like being very cautious and like walking around and basically ending up capturing the empty streets, because that's what it was. It felt very sad, like this day that you just opened, like that, that day specifically. I really had like almost tears in my eyes, like walking through the city and seeing it the way it was. It felt like a hurt, injured animal, like this beast of a city that New York usually is. Seeing it like this, so sad and empty, and so many people suffering and dying. Just felt unreal and incredibly sad. So I'm happy that things have moved on a little bit. New Yorkers have been incredibly resilient and sticking together and really being good with the safety guidelines so far. So I'm hoping that the numbers will stay down and we'll get through to the other end with this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing that. I also no, I did the opposite approach. I shot more digital now, but that's a different story. But I see many people slowing down with their photography, and it's cool to see what people are doing. Good. So everyone's still here. Just checking in because I think people want us to say hi. What's up, Eastpark Boy? Dan the Man. Who else is here? Paulo Diaz. Many familiar faces and avatars. So, okay. Today we are going to talk about our August theme, and it was Candid. And Candid is, we decided for Candid because we wanted to go back to street photography, or we tried to.
Yeah, we had strayed so far. We were going all over the place with still lives.
We had so many quarantine friendly themes. It was time to do some Candid photography again. Yeah, Jason, any thoughts about your experience? I mean, it's probably the same as mine.
Yeah, it's probably the same, except that I'm a little more detached. It seems like you get out. I mean, from looking at your stories, it looks like you get out a healthy amount to shoot and stuff like that and work that muscle. I'm about an hour and a half out of the city in complete seclusion, so it's a little difficult. When I go in, I feel like this anxiety to capture and like get something good, and I feel like that always kills. It kind of like kills the energy of going out to shoot, because I really enjoy kind of stumbling on these moments that I find outside. But I was in the city recently and I tried to get an image. I got absolutely nothing. So what I uploaded today was just a regular old snapshot.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting because, like I said, I don't go to the city much. And to see them, the steps of the post office by 34th Street, to see that empty on a beautiful 83 degree day, kind of shocking when you come in and out of the city in the way that I do, at least.
Yeah.
So not a good photo, but just kind of taking the approach of documenting what's going on, is instead of looking for these chaotic bangers in the city that we're used to.
But how would you describe Candid for you? What does Candid for you mean?
For me in particular, I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't know that it was exactly Candid this week. I thought we just said something as simple as street photography.
Okay.
we were being very general. We were like, street photography is the theme this month. But yeah, I mean, I guess Candid is just the idea of taking something without anybody really knowing that it's happening, right? Like for me, that's what it means, is that you're catching people off guard in an honest, pure moment.
Yeah.
Or are you trying to say I didn't fulfill that?
No. I just wanted to know. Because I think we have to define or give our opinion what we understand as Candid photography. But I definitely see a Candid moment here, and I like the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I shot a few of these guys, but it wasn't. They weren't given much, and I was on my way to B&H to pick up some stuff. So this is
different priorities. Yeah.
What I got.
I guess
Yeah, I would probably add to the definition of Candid. Sure. To me, it also kind of implies that you capture something without you kind of being the fly on the wall, but then also creating moments or capturing moments that will not come back in the same time, in the same way anytime soon, right? So if I went to the same spot as Jason here, I would probably not see these two guys doing what they're doing, right? And at the same time, like what's on top of that, like this is historical capture, right? Like this is not something that you usually see on this spot. So I think there can be several layers of what candid photography really means.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah, we have a comment here from Franklin saying street photography is not only with people in the frame, and I would also agree. I think Candid doesn't necessarily mean there has to be people in the frame, right? Could be a
Can be a dog.
Yeah,
Could be dog.
Okay. Yeah.
And how about you, Sammy? How was it shooting street for you the last month?
I will keep it short as well because I also have to admit that I didn't really get anything I was really happy with. And I think it's just different shooting street nowadays. And yeah, mostly I take street photos only when I'm like commuting or going somewhere. Yeah. So these are, for example, from taking in the
That's
subway.
not what the potato vlogs say.
Huh? Yeah.
That's not what the potato vlogs say.
Yeah. But I always go into the city because there are so many like protests going on. So I feel like this year I'm more like a photojournalist than I'm a street photographer. So I don't really go out to take like candid street photos, and most photos I take on the street are done when I'm waiting for the train. Or recently I went to my taekwondo school, and after a long time, and just seeing things, taking notes, I guess, with the GR. Yeah. So mostly like stuff that I see on the fly. And I think most people see scenes like this a lot. I have to give a shout out here to Eastblock Boy Elmer. He's watching. He took this photo first. So credit goes to him. I haven't seen his photo yet, but
You're very honored.
yeah, I can't take credit because I think we saw it, but he took the photo first, and I don't want to say I saw this first, but you know, it's not often that you see someone. I don't even know what this is. A surfboard, probably.
That's definitely a surfboard or a big banana. One of the two.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's basically it. I don't know. I might have more photos, but I just looked at my archive, same as you, and then seeing what I actually did. Cool. Yeah, let's go over to the submissions. So we had quite a few more submissions this time than last time. And as always, before we continue, usually we do this in the beginning. Little disclaimer here. So, repeat after me. We do not pretend to be experts, nor do we say this is the best place to get photo critique. We offer you our personal feedback based on our own experience and education. If you don't want that, please don't submit your work, but you are happy to do so. And we have two rules, only two, that are our general rules. The submissions must be taken during the months of the running theme. So no photos from July or June, for example, or last year, and one submission per person. Cool.
That was broken this month as well. That's broken, and it was this month as well. Multiple submissions.
Yeah, we're quite late this time.
Yeah.
And so this time we have a few selects that we really liked, or I guess mostly I liked, I don't know. We will quickly go through them, and then we go to the rest and do a little bit of critiquing. So thank you everyone for submitting. Submissions are closed if you're still trying to upload. Unfortunately, it's not possible anymore. Yeah, let's just start. And feel free to chime in and react together. So, yeah. So whenever I think about candid and street photography, I always like to see some kind of interaction. And even though I'm not really sure what, why they are laughing, but it feels like a.
I feel like I have to kind of rain on the parade here because this is a packed train with people without masks, so there's no way this was taken this month.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Nikolai Nipnicki busted. No, I don't know. Maybe it's in a city where they have no rules and restrictions. But
let's get on the train.
But it looks like, it's probably Japan because I see some Japanese here on the side. In Japan.
And you used to see those people with the wands in Japan, right? Getting people onto the train.
Yeah. And I know for a fact that in Japan right now, everyone is wearing a mask. Wherever. If you're outside, everyone has a mask. So this cannot be shot in August. But maybe he is in the chat and can clarify. But yeah, let's continue. But I liked the moment. Yeah, another one that at first glance, I just liked how the light hits the mother and the child and having the gestures, and then I realized that they're the only one touching their faces, and this is what we shouldn't do, right? So, kind of thought this was interesting, like an interesting contrast. Yeah, not much I would say here. Maybe I would crop in a little bit more, but I don't know. Yeah,
it's the composition is pretty tight. I would maybe cropping in a little bit. I kind of, what I like about these kind of photos, kind of from a documentary perspective, right? Like this is something that we wouldn't have seen or wouldn't have been used to a year ago, and I feel like in a decade's time, maybe these kind of photos will again feel kind of weird. Like right now, it feels like you see a lot of scenes like this in the street, but I feel there's something to it, like the markings on the ground, the masks, and how people stand separately. And yeah, I like the light in this one, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, the light in this image is great. And it's that good light that's reflecting off of a building or something like that, right? It kind of has this kind of shimmery effect to it that highlights the main subjects perfectly in this photo, which is kind of cool. And again, this falls into what we were kind of talking about with like a change of pace in a sense where it's more like, I feel when you go out and you shoot today, it's more like you're just documenting what's happening. And this feels like one of those things.
Okay, next one. Wait, let me go back. This was from Lee Jason. Just want to give a shout out. Next is from Max. Yeah.
Somebody asked, do you need to be wearing a mask in these photographs? And the answer is no, they don't need to be wearing a mask. But someone should be wearing a mask somewhere in the image to indicate that this was taken recently.
Yeah, not a packed subway train. That seems a little bit off for today's time.
Sure.
Yeah, I like this moment of, I don't know. I just liked it.
It's a nice little moment. You can see the parents' love for the kids and they're kind of playful. I would be interested. I would have probably tried, and maybe I don't know if that person took another photo of the scene, but I would have probably walked behind the parents and tried to capture the kid, waving or whatever it's doing. That might have been a good shot too.
And then you would probably have the dad also looking at him, and you would see his face still. Yeah, because you often see people, like parents having their children, carrying them on their shoulders, and then it's an easy shot, right, to get the photo of the child. If it's like a cute baby, and then it's always like an easy shot. But I think in this case, it would be a little bit more special. Yeah. Okay. Nice. David Schiller, next one here. Yeah, it's Candid.
Everyone's wearing a mask. Yes.
Everyone's wearing a mask. Current. This is current.
It's nothing.
I really like the framing of this. It's not like a lot going on, but there's the element, the fact that the stroller kind of comes to a head right on the third of the frame, the way it's jutting out. Kind of gives it a really interesting line that you keep following back all the way to the back of the frame where the kids are.
Yeah, I mean the scene itself is nothing exciting or special, but it's just, I think it's a nice family portrait. It's like a very candid family moment. And it's, I mean, when we see this 10 years later, we will definitely think back and, see, this is how life was 2020. Or maybe this is how life will be forever.
2021?
Or 2030 or whatever. Okay, let's move forward because we have a lot of photos where we should talk a little bit more. This stuck out a little bit for me because first the light hits the subject, and we see this a lot, a person being highlighted by a streak of light. But I think what makes this a little bit more special is his gesture and covering his face, which is definitely a moment that is, over in a second. So therefore I liked it.
I like the little patches of, I think they are just like actual stones in the wall behind the person, these two patches in the light, right? But I like them because they kind of feel like extensions of the shadow or something, like at least from what I can see here right now. It adds to it adds an interesting effect, because I keep like wondering, is there something flying at him at the moment and he's like trying to cover his face off it, or it's interesting.
I also like the shadows that are on the floor. And I mean, this gesture is pretty common, right? You see people with their hands up, but these two shadows on the floor make it feel a little more ominous, like somebody's coming for him.
Right, yeah.
It's like these two people approaching him, and he's kind of like, no. Yeah.
Cool. I think this is the last one. This is the first one I put in, I think. There's one thing that I liked here, and that is this... continuation of how do you say, Abfolge, you know what I mean, Matthias? When something is like
a sequence
kind of. Yeah, because everyone has to go over that puddle, and by the reactions of the people in the back, they're like kind of preparing for it, looking down. So
yeah, these kind of photos with people jumping over puddles always remind me of one of the first historical photos that were very famous, Henri Cartier-Bresson's photo of a man jumping over a puddle, which was, I don't know, when that was taken in the 30s or something. That reminds me of it a little bit. Like the reflection in the water. And just that movement, and this is an interesting version of it because it has, as you say, like that sequence of people, like that mass of people trying to do the same thing, and it feels like there's no way around this water because everyone's like planning to do the same thing, right?
It's probably a cool spot to camp and wait and get different reactions, maybe. All right, this was Marcin Storni from Poland. Let's go straight to the rest of the submissions, and
it'd be cool if we could do like a randomized, kind of like you just hit the button and then we like.
I don't know if that's possible. I can probably.
Wait, what are the filters up there? You see last modified. What can we change it to?
Last opened by me, and what was the other one?
No random shuffle or anything.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's just start. Okay, so these are all the other submissions, and usually we pick out a few that we think need some improvement or something that we can talk about. And then there are some that sometimes don't fall under the theme. I think in this case, almost all of them are candid, but there might be a few where we don't really have much to say because maybe it's hard for us to understand, and we will try to give everyone the feedback, but from experience this always takes more time than we have. So let's just start, but keep that in mind that we have to or we want to go through all of them, so let's keep it short and brief but give everyone a chance. So this one is from Jerry Adam. Oh, Jerry, is he watching? He's a loyal Twitch follower. Okay, looks like a flea market. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm answering questions in the chat room. We've got some interesting questions today.
with these kind of photos, I like the photo in itself, but I think it would work for me in a series of photos because there's nothing like this photo itself doesn't tell much of a story to me, but I can see it in a sequence with someone documenting this market or someone documenting this coming back to this space, and in a sequence I would call it I like the contrasts, like the contrasty black and white. I like how close he is to that person on the right. I think it's solid, but there's not much of a story for me here.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It's unclear what the subject is. Even the guy on the right is a little bit kind of, it seems like an afterthought that he's there. Maybe it's the person on the left, but there's nothing that really ties them together in this frame. So there's no real anchor. But everything, like you said, I like the contrasty element of it too. It's pretty nice. Other than that, I don't know what's tying this together here.
Yeah. I don't know. I think flea markets, if you do, for example, like some abstract, or you can do the very humorous photos on flea markets, right? You can do some crazy juxtapositions, or you can focus on interactions. For me, this is like it's like a good overview of the flea market. Like this could be just one photo in an article about this flea market and would work. But I find it personally hard to get interesting photos at flea markets because you have so much stuff in the background, right? It's very hard. But yeah, I agree with the good points, the contrast, and the yeah, solid. Let's move on. Umut Street looks German.
It does, yeah.
I think he's from Switzerland. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Personally, it doesn't speak that much to me because I don't know if the guy in the foreground is important or what's happening in the background. Or
yeah, this is, I don't know, this is kind of when people dislike our comments or us rushing through photos. But to be honest, this photo doesn't really consider like a subject matter or composition in any way, because we just have a guy walking through a frame on his cell phone eating some pommes frites, it looks like.
But is
and then you've got something going on in the background, but there's no real gestures here or anything that kind of arrests your attention. You know, we don't really know where to look in this frame.
Yeah. I have to say though, this is a good technique you can do, right? You can wait for someone to walk into your frame, and that way you can block like noisy elements in your frame, or
just like a way of creating layers, right? But I think I'm seeing what he liked about this image and why he shared it, because his fries line up with this guy's body and his legs kind of perfectly, which is kind of funny.
See, that's funny. Like, to me personally, that would be a bit too gimmicky if that is what he saw in it. But I agree with you, Samuel, that I think this, like, for me, this looks like a work in progress for stacking layers. You know, like for me, this could be one of my duds on the way to like getting somewhere. Maybe he was interested in the group of people standing around the motorcycle. Then that person came in, but then, you know, there's nothing on the right to fill that space on the right. It really falls off on the right. But I feel like, you know, maybe he was inspired, or maybe the person was inspired by Alex Webb, or, you know.
He wrote in the chat.
Oh, yeah?
He said that was it. The
okay,
lining
cool.
up with the body.
Right, yeah. So, you know, I think this is a work in progress, but I would definitely not see this as the final shot. Scene.
But if that guy was turned around and he had an interesting expression on facing those fries, that'd be really that would make it for me, because sometimes there's those moments, right? Those happy accidents. So
it's a kind of funny one from Max D. Looks like we're getting flipped off.
Busted by somebody who seems to be very nice. Like, despite the middle finger, she seems very pleasant.
So this is interesting, because would you say, like, is this, because, you know, some people say when you do candid photography, you are like the fly on the wall, you don't interrupt the scene. But in this case, you created the scene, right? The photographer this is a reaction of the photographer. Like I'm not that like extreme. I don't think like you can say this is like it has to be like that and so. Or what you guys?
Well, I mean, if we are sticking to Candid, I totally agree with what you just said. I think it's definitely an undisturbed scene because you definitely can't ask someone for a portrait if you're doing Candid work, right?
Well, this could be a fun theme for the future, like reaction, getting a reaction.
Yeah.
Of you.
Or if something was going on in the background that was Candid, that would be interesting because then you'd have, you know, the kind of this posed moment happening in the foreground and then like an interaction in the background that's kind of juxtaposing the whole thing.
What do you think, Matthias?
Yeah, I'm a little bit torn about those photos where you capture negative reactions from subjects. Like in a way, I know that we don't often ask for consent. We just take photos in and go our way. But if someone so directly shows that they are not really happy with their photo being taken, I don't know if that makes a good photo for me. Like I can see it in a series of negative reactions if that is how you want to frame it. But as such, I think I would skip this one.
Okay, let's go to the next one. But I like that we like question these things when we see these photos. Okay, next one from Paul Harrison. Yeah, definitely a candid moment, I suppose. I mean, could be friends of the photographer, but the way he framed it looks like he was passing by. I think that would be my only feedback, that I would probably work a little bit on that framing. Because I mean, it's definitely
I don't know how I feel about this image.
No?
Yeah, I agree with you on the framing. I think the moment in itself is interesting. This is like very intimate little moments, and but if you took like one more step forward and framed a little bit and filled the frame a little bit more with like the arms and the people, I think that would have probably made an even better picture. But I like it for what it is. It's like a very quick scene in while passing by this couple.
Yeah,
I kind of agree with that, getting closer, but my mind initially went to maybe stepping even further back because this is such an intimate moment. This is not something you typically see people do outside. This is like bedroom behavior or like apartment behavior. So to juxtapose that with other people passing by or like, just life happening around them while they're just in their little intimate.
Yeah. Okay, next one, Robert Etienne Desrosiers. What's going on here?
Whoa.
Can we even show that?
No, this is a party, and this is pre-COVID for sure.
Who knows?
Or they just don't care.
This is not post-COVID activity.
I like this. The bottom guy's expression. It's like he's so excited that he gets to do it. Yeah. It's a fun photo. I think we can move on.
Yeah. Is that Tyler, the creator?
Huh? Wow, this is a long title. Wait, someone wrote something in German. Hallo, wenn das Foto in der engeren Wahl geschafft hat, lieber diese schwarz-weiß konvertierte Foto. Oh, he uploaded the color version too, so
yes,
he wants us to ignore the color version. It's a cool location for a good silhouette shot. I think I want to see more contrast personally, just taste-wise. I think
I don't mind the edit. I wish there was a bigger gesture in this because it kind of reminds me of some of the old images by Fan Ho, with this window and the way the light is pouring down on the steps. But just having someone sitting there so tightly wound it, like their limbs are not separated or anything like that. I would just like to see a bigger gesture here. If they would have waited and camped this area, they could have probably gotten something a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's very like, geometrical, and the light is interesting. I'm not so sure about like the top half of the image, this block. Like I would have probably played around with the perspective a little bit more and like tried to get more, like, maybe a little bit closer. But then again, I don't know what the location looks like, so maybe that wasn't an option. But yeah, definitely an interesting location. Probably waiting for a more interesting scene, but
Okay, not one from Andrew NG. I'm letting you guys start first.
I mean, it's weird. I really like the atmosphere in this image.
Mhm.
Like, this is a great spot. The lights that are going on here, the colors. This is like a very cinematic location. Maybe if you just asked this guy to turn around and look into the camera, this would have really connected for me. But in this moment, again, the movement is not strong enough. There's no connection to the actual photograph. But everything, even the wood, the yellow blocking, the red, the blues, it's all so beautiful. I just want something else to be happening in this frame. So I would keep hitting this location.
Yeah, I agree with that. The location is really something, and I kind of like the division. That person on the left is kind of standing on the bluish, darker side of things, while the rest of the scene is kind of happening on the right in this yellow red scenery. It's really lovely, and I agree with you, Jason. I think if you stuck around this location for a little bit longer, you probably would have gotten an even more interesting subject, something happening in this environment. But yeah, it's a lovely. I love how the light is balanced. It's well done.
Maybe they're even related, or they're a couple, or they know each other. You could take a break maybe, so you can like make up your own story. I think I would have loved to see a bit more action inside, and then have some contrast with the calmness of smoking alone outside, having some kind of contrast. But yeah, I agree with your points. Good, let's go to the next one. Adam Ramjeen. Yeah, definitely August, right? I mean, it looks like summer.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I always like when a city has a spot like this, like fountains, water sprinkling. Always makes for some fun.
Not in New York. There'll be a lot of naked people in there. a lot of weird stuff going on.
So with photos like this, I sometimes wish I could ask the photographer and just ask them what they saw in this photo, like why they shared this photo particularly, because there are a few things that they might have been attracted to, right? Like, sure, there are the kids playing. I think the pigeon, the bird flying, I think that might have been one of the things that caught their attention. Similar to that other photos with like different layers happening, I think the location has a lot of potential, especially when there are kids playing. There's always something happening, a lot of movement. So I can imagine would have produced an even more interesting picture, filling that space on the left, for example, giving that, I think, boy on the right side a little bit more of an interesting movement. It stands a little bit awkwardly. But yeah, I mean, there's potential in the location.
Yeah, I think almost guarantee it's the bird. I feel like when I don't mean this in any offensive way to people, but like I know when I first got a camera, certain things would just set me off, and I would obsess over a single element in the image because I wasn't concerned with tying in the bigger picture or the harmony between subjects in the photograph. And the bird alone, it's kind of nice. Like I like the shape that the bird is creating, and if that was just the image, then I'd say yes. But everything else, all the other elements, make it a little bit too chaotic, and nothing about it is as elegant or well posed as the bird. So that's where it starts to fail for me.
Yeah.
I see George in the comments is suggesting to crop it to vertical. I think this could be an option for this one.
Indeed.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We have to.
The bird made the shot.
Yeah. I kind of like the perspective and the layers, like also the gestures are kind of nice. Like the two here posing behind this looks like a donut almost, and then this person here with the hands on the face. Like, what kind of reaction is that? Like, why? What's happening?
I kind of just made, like zooming in a little bit and letting the guy on the left fill the frame a little bit more. Yeah, kind of like a little bit less maybe. But yeah, sort of like putting that person with the.
It's hard to zoom here on Google Drive. It doesn't let me.
Yeah, but you can see what I mean, right? Like I think that probably would help eliminate some of the empty space on the side. Make it a bit tighter.
It's very dynamic. Like everyone moves, and I like this how this hair her hair is flowing up. Like it's probably very windy.
Yeah. Everybody's in such great places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some needs more birds.
put a bird on it.
Photoshop that bird from before. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Right. Yeah, I think I agree that having a little tighter crop might make this a little bit. Improve this maybe a little bit.
I like it. I feel like if you cropped it tighter, you would get rid of those perspective lines that kind of lead you all the way to the back of the frame.
Yeah.
And those are kind of, I don't know, they're really interesting to look at, especially since the one on the left is really nicely lit up and the one on the right has got this gray, it's like kind of black. I don't know, lead your eyes to the back.
Yeah. Cool.
That's a good point.
Here we have one from Wayne Maurice.
Wow, that is a head.
Is it a fish head?
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, my mind immediately goes to the fish head, and that's such a great photo over there. I feel like, right? Like the stuff that's laying on the floor, almost like a still life.
Yeah. Yeah, we get the whole story here, but we always say, we want to see the story or there's no story, but I think sometimes when the story is obvious, maybe adding a little bit of mystery back in could also make this more interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Imagine a photo of someone walking away, like carrying the head or something like that, without even the context maybe of the water of the sea.
Or even just these people in the back, like just swimming, doing nothing exciting and having the head like somewhere popping in. Like, I don't know. Yeah, definitely a cool spot. I would love to take my time here and take photos. Yeah, cool. Let's move on. Next is from Andre. Another stair silhouette shot. Oh, but this one I definitely like a little bit better than the other one we saw previously. The lens, the sun flare is a nice touch. The shadow also on the wall. Yeah. Maybe the silhouette, the legs could be shaped more beautiful. I don't know. I'm trying to be I'm nitpicking here, but I think it's all about the silhouette. When the rest is nice, then the timing has to be also important here, right?
Mm-hmm. These are, I think we've spoken about this kind of, like these are very common images that pop up, the silhouette and staircase, leading lines and stuff. They're solid images, it's great for like playing around with composition and negative space and nice lines for symmetry and things of that nature. But this is something that's like almost like a trend right now, right? Or will always be a trend in street photography and things of that nature. So I would almost say if you see yourself doing things like this, like try to figure out a way to do this a little bit different. I don't know if there is or what that means, but I feel like if your images are starting to look a lot like everything that you see on Instagram and a lot of Fuji shooters and things of that nature, work the scene.
What do you
work
have
the scene
against
a little
Fuji
bit more.
Be careful. We have lots of Fuji shooters here in the chat.
I have nothing against Fuji shooters. Where's my Fuji? Oh, I got rid of them. Goddamn.
It's under your Lycos. Yeah, but I think we get what you mean, and I think this needs an amazing silhouette, like something, it's all. I think the rest is so beautiful, like the shapes, the shadows, the light. But for me, when I look at the strongest contrast in this photo is the silhouette, and for me it's just two people walking up the stairs, and I feel like there's potential for much nicer silhouette. Yeah, but we can't have it all, right? Maybe nothing happened this day, and these are the only people going upstairs. So, but it's Candid.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one, and let me check how many more we have left. Yeah, we can do a little overtime, but keep in mind we still have a few. So. Alrighty. August moment.
A lot of bananas in this month.
Yeah, I would say we definitely need more birds and maybe a fish head in the background. In the basket. Yeah. This feels kind of similar to the woman who was, giving us the middle finger, because he's looking into the camera, or he's recognizing the photographer. And I like how it feels like we caught him eating a banana, and he just realized, oh, like I got caught in a photograph. So I would love to see what happened after that. But as an image itself, it feels also weirdly framed. I don't know.
Yeah, the framing feels a little bit off for me too. Like the subject, I think maybe like without looking at the camera, it would have been more interesting for me, really. But yeah. I mean, I can see what the person saw in this moment, like, this weird little whatever that is, a little bike, motorbike, whatever. It is kind of like a pretty random, comedic, funny moment, but it's just not 100% there. Like I look at it, I'm more kind of like confused and trying to figure out what's happening, rather than being like, amazed and like, humored by it.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Daniel G. Nice timing, I would say, because the only thing that is lit is the Spider-Man cap.
Spider-Man hat.
And ironically, that shadow looks like a spider web.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Very clever.
That's true. Yeah.
Very, very cool. This is a cool moment.
Yeah. Right. If the photographer saw this coming, then yeah, nice job. This one doesn't need any birds. It works without birds.
Yeah.
Spiders are nice too. Spider boys.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it.
Spider girls.
Good. Okay. We definitely have lots of layers going on here. Nicholas Lambert.
Yeah, that's definitely more like my kind of thing. what's going on here. I like
That's
it.
what I was waiting for. That's probably why me and Sammy didn't say anything.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it for various reasons. I mean, the layering here. There are people coming from different directions, and it's always quite challenging to get these dynamic moments into a balance. And I feel like it's pretty much there. Like I'm a little bit maybe those parents with their daughter in the back, they are kind of distracting me a little bit. But it's I like there's like one person filling a part of the frame coming from the right. There's something coming from the left, and then in the center we have this lady taking off her mask or putting it on. I don't know. So she works a bit of she's smoking.
Yeah, this is such a nice detail. It's probably taking off that mask too.
He's just like spreading the virus, just blowing it in.
Yeah, no, I like that. That works for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's almost difficult too. How do you critique moments like this? I mean, obviously there's nothing to critique here because this is just what you get. You don't get to work this moment anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Like this is as candid as it gets, or like as truthful. I don't know what the word is for this moment, but there's nothing you can do. You either get it or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like, Jason, I don't know if you agree, but in a way, it also comes down to the editing process, right? I'm sure this person took several photos during, being on the street corner, whatever. But then, choosing this photo from a selection of photos that they have taken, I think that is part of deciding what the moment is and what they want and what they want to show, right?
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I feel like, I mean, I've seen a lot of images that people have shared and like sat down with friends and gone through their day of shooting and said, no, this is the moment, and I feel like photo selection, editing, like you said, is a very big part because sometimes people don't actually know what that moment is. They'll opt for something different, but this is it. So yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't see this. I didn't see this before, so I would probably also have put it in the best of. Otherwise, okay. Next from Danny.
It's hilarious. Yeah. He's wearing like a white girl mask on his mouth. And he's spraying white sauce. I mean, this is great. This is a good moment. This
looks like
this is a nice New York City moment.
From a car, maybe.
I wish I could get rid of that car door. That's the only thing that's a bit of an eyesore. But other than that, it's a nice moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And I think I've seen it before, to be completely honest. This definitely has crossed my feed at some point. Yeah. I think I know this, Danny. So yeah, no, I like it. Like the whole the mask situation with like the spray in the air and I totally agree with Jason. It's a very like New York kind of moment, and it captures the dynamics of this for me. So I like it's very interesting. This mask is just so weird looking, right?
Yeah. I wonder whose mouth that is.
Could be. I don't know. No. I thought it looked kind of like Jimmy Fallon, but I don't know. Maybe.
Jimmy Fallon? That's a woman's mouth for sure.
Are you sure? I don't know. I can't really see it from here. That's probably some celebrity. Robert Etienne. This person already submitted the photo. I think, was it that party shot? No. But we already seen one submission, so...
don't believe that this is current. I would say next.
Probably. But I will skip it nonetheless because we can only accept one submission per person. And another one. Maybe this is a good moment to repeat our rules. Please, whenever you submit photos, read what the form is saying, the submission form, because I wrote down our rules and they're very simple, just 2 rules. Take the photo during the month of the theme, and please just 1 photo per person. Wait, another one? Okay, I have to skip forward. Sorry. Edgaras Duk. I can't pronounce it. Yeah, we have a color match here.
So I have a question for you guys real quick, because I feel like everybody in this room right now shoots 28 millimeter, right? Right? I mean, you guys are used to a wider focal length. When you see images like this, and you can tell that it's like 50 or higher or something like that, do you immediately go to how like more lifelike this would look like if it were 28? Does your mind go to what that image looks like on a 28 immediately? Like if I see this perspective where I see his head, I see the yellow coat, and I see those yellow, and it's all sprawling, it's all very like 3D. To me, in my mind, that's pleasing. I'm just curious if your mind goes there.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because this feels very rigid. A lot of 50 millimeter photos, since I've been shooting 28 now for the last couple of years, 50 starts to feel so rigid.
Yeah, I switch between 28 and 35 a lot, but you're right. Like I've tried it, especially during the pandemic. Like I've tried to shoot even with a zoom lens, just because I felt like I can't get as close. You know, I don't want to invade people's spaces so much. Just respect the the safety. But I know what you mean. Like in terms of perspective, it is really not something that I feel so attracted to. Like there's a sense of distance that I try to avoid in street photography. I think it can work. I've seen some work where it helps bring together different elements, and because the perspective and the idea of spacing changes so much when you shoot with a different length. I think you can play with that, and some people really know how to do that.
Like an Alex Webb.
Yeah.
Well, he shoots kind of wide sometimes too, but he shoots layers, and somehow it's very condensed. So I wonder if he's shooting on a 50.
Yeah, he's doing some kind of weird voodoo magic. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, just curious. Just with Sammy, you?
I think I'm the same. I'm so used to 28, and I also switch between 28 and 35 a lot nowadays. And 35 for me is almost like a 50.
That's
it.
35 on a full frame, right?
Yeah, 35 on a full frame gives you that realistic field of view.
That's the shirt. That's the shirt you got to make next, dude.
35 on full frame. Yeah, I tried using a 50, and I know when I started out, I shot 50 on APS-C. So at one point I was used to like an 85, or I also had a 70 on APS-C once. And I think I wouldn't say it's an easy focal length, but it's easier to get your subject nicely in the frame and get a clean photo, right? But on the 28, I think you think more multi-dimensional, or you think about more subjects than just one. And that's why I like 28, because you can give different context to what's going on, right? And on the 50, I don't feel like you can play so much.
I'll throw out like a slightly controversial claim, maybe that anything that is like higher than 35 to me feels a little bit like spying on people, whereas like 35 or 28 millimeters just feels more honest, because you're there, you are in the space with the people you are taking photos of, like and the art of then making yourself disappear and taking candid photos, for me is much more difficult. Just I think that's what I said. I wouldn't say that it's I feel everyone should do whatever they feel comfortable with, and everyone should experiment with different things, and there's not like no right or wrong. But I love the idea that like when you see videos of Gary Winogrand shooting, for example, right? Like he's in the middle of the street, and he's like a pretty big guy, but people ignore him. Like he's not even there. He's just like doing his thing. He's like randomly playing with his camera, and that is where the magic is, in the middle of the scene, but you're invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any words about this photo? I guess we are not the right people to talk about it then.
I mean, I like what they were trying to do here. I
Yeah.
guess I wish I could see more of the scene because everything around it is already so gray, and like kind of monotone that I feel like if we saw more of this moment, then the yellows would stand out more instead of trying to kind of force the focus onto it, you know?
It has this cinematic vibe to me. It could be a scene from a movie. So I don't know. I think I like it, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. It's not my type of photo, but I think it's a nice photo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to the next
All
one.
right. Well,
Whatever, man. William Austin. Oh, we have. Is it the date or the time on the bottom right? It's probably the time.
he took this in 1939. I don't. This too. Is that?
Yeah, you never know with timestamps. Like this Fuji camera that I have here, like that, the actual timestamp, like the computer it ends in 2024 or something. So I only have like 4 more years to actually use the timestamp on it if I wanted to. So like some of those cameras were never supposed to still be around in 2020. So
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, okay, and I could be, there's a way to say this, and I don't know what it is yet, but I feel like there's certain things that you see on the street, right? That if you take an image of, no one's going to question you for taking that image, right? There's certain moments where you're photographing someone and your fears that they're going to be like, why'd you take my picture? And you're like, oh, I just saw. But there's certain things like a man with a snake around his neck expects you to take his photograph. So when I see images that are a little more timid like this, where I feel like people are keeping their distance, I'm like, no, this is an okay moment for you to go and actually work that scene if it's something that you like. I don't know if there's a term that exists for that, but there are almost these things where it's like you get free reign, right? This is a free reign moment. It's street performers and it's a man with a snake. So I want to see you a lot closer and I want to see you working the scene.
I like that. Yeah.
It's a free reign moment.
Yep. I agree. Next one.
Okay.
Pedro Silva Torres. Yeah. I like the reflection of the face. It's interesting.
Oh, they're both on their laptops. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Oh.
It
feels like his friend if they're sitting there on laptops like that.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, for me it feels a little bit almost too abstract. Like it's more about playing with shapes and composition. And yeah, it looks like the photographer was also on his laptop and using that to create this reflection. Yeah, I would say for me it's not so much about the moments, and it looks because it looks like the photographer is the person on the laptop as well. It feels like they know each other, and I don't know, it doesn't have that candid street moment vibe for me, but I like the photo for what it is.
Yeah, it's an interesting technique, like looking for reflections and putting them into the frame. And I think it's, that is well done here, and it gives the main subject a bit of personality, like this, this gesture, holding the hand, the face, like there's some kind of connection that otherwise wouldn't be there. So it's interesting.
That interesting sounded like when you taste food of your friends, and they say, "How is it?" And you say, "Oh, it's interesting."
Pass the salt. All right, we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very recent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. Yeah. Oh yeah, must
I
be
feel like-
crazy being a photographer in Belarus.
Mm.
Phew.
This could have been a solidarity protest somewhere else, though, right? Like this
Oh,
doesn't
right,
have
yeah.
to be.
Yeah, all right. You would probably not
Yeah.
hold a sign "Freedom for Belarus" if you are in Belarus. I think you would do more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
I do want to say I feel like this is kind of what I was just talking about 2 images ago, where this is one of those moments where nobody's gonna. You can take whatever you want in this moment, and no one's gonna question it. So when I see something that's a little bit off, like you could line up and get straight on with these 2 girls in a dynamic photo that has some cool shapes and color blocking with the reds and the whites that she's wearing, and even the people behind. You could really fill the frame with subjects here. But this feels, just go for these moments, you know. If you see somebody in a costume outside or somebody protesting, holding a flag, or just doing anything crazy that says, "Look at me," you can take their photograph. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like with this one, I would totally have run up to this girl with the flag with her arms stretched out, stood right front and center in front of her, and taken that photo, like with some of the flag, maybe as you said, like adding some of the background, like just to show some context, but really focusing on her, and she would be like, you know, like the poster girl of this protest. Like, you know, that's a great shot right there, and she sums up the whole. Sums up the Belarus solidarity. She sums up the COVID situation. There's so much in there. I agree. The dress is the same colors as the flag. That's a very strong image.
It's a great image. It just needed to get a little closer to the action.
I think now the way it is shot right now, it works as could be like a newspaper photo, you know, because now in the background I can see that it's shot in Zurich. So we know where it was shot, and when if the story is that people in Zurich are protesting or are on the street in solidarity with Belarus, then you need that context of the place, and maybe getting close to her would not show that, but she has potential to be, you know, a very interesting, become like an interesting photo.
Yeah.
If you only, if you think about what you can do. Okay, next, Lawrence.
I mean, the woman on the left has red hair, so sorry, that was the last thing I was going to say. Just because it gets lost in the image too. There's the red and the white flag and the red cheese, whatever. You get it.
Nice stripes. Harsh shadows. The shadows on the street look also like kind of like stripes. Very contrasty.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit noisy.
Somebody walked into some shadows and forgot to change their shutter speed.
I know that some people do that on purpose to get some motion blur, but in this case, I think you're probably right. I'm not sure if she's looking into the camera or looking at the photographer. Could also that she just looks out for cars.
Yeah.
I know, for me personally, I think it's a little bit too noisy. I don't know what I would do here.
Well, there's something to the repetition of black and white stripes, right? Like the head and the stripes, like the shadow on the ground of the street. There's something to it, but it's a really interesting subject. Like, I mean, and that's an extraordinary hat and a beautiful, you know, interesting person. And I would almost like want her to be even more in the center of the photo and see more of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost wish things like this, I guess, in this woman, and I feel like she would let you take a portrait of her. She's wearing a lovely hat. She's got the pearls on and all that stuff. And this moment, it's not a good enough candid moment. She's not doing anything too interesting that it's like, if you want her portrait, you should probably just ask for the portrait. Because it's kind of like it's like a half thought, right? It's like she is very interesting in herself with that hat on, but she's not doing anything in this moment. So it's not worth the photograph here. So you might as well just pose her and get everything that you want in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good closing words. Next one. Daniel Molinier.
Wow.
That's cool. That's very cool. It's good.
I like there's so much empty space below them. I don't know. Makes me wonder where they are falling into. I mean, probably water, but.
Do you guys
I
know?
hope so.
Do you guys know like the 1920s, 1930s work of Leni Riefenstahl, that German filmmaker who like later like she did like Olympics and athletic like stuff for the Nazis later. So she kind of had like a bad reputation for doing that. But that very much reminds me of her style, like the light and shadows, like athletic shapes, athletic bodies flying through the air, doing weird stuff. It very much reminds me of that. It's very timeless, right? Like this could have been taken in August, could have been taken in August 23 too. Like,
Yeah, like it. Let's go to the next one. Emraske.
very clean layering.
Yeah.
I dig that. I mean, I'm a sucker for layers and for different parts of the image, like having different characters separated from each other. And I feel like this works really well. Like look at the perspective the second row of people are stuck in. Do you see like there's like the tiny person on the left and then one in the dark skirt, the one in the green shirt, and then the Jesus character, and then you have that central person with the mask kind of like laughing, like adding a little bit to like a fooliness and humorness to it. I like that. I like that weird scene. It makes you wonder what's happening. Like what's the deal with this Jesus dude, and I like it.
Yeah, even if this gentleman with the mask wasn't in the image, this is like really good subject placement, because you can see it the way that from the pink shirt to the Jesus, they all start to shrink in size, which is a nice little additive, and it's got a clear foreground, middle ground, and a background here. So this is like really, 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 like you said, it's really nice layering for sure. Biblical capture.
Yeah.
George Van Zandt.
Yeah. I can only say, I agree. I really like the framing and the composition and the placement. It's almost perfect. It's like a little bit scary how
really
perfect it is.
Yeah, these umbrellas on the top that are kind of framing it up. Like,
and you have people there watching the scene from this balcony there, from the top. So nothing is really distracting, I would say. Maybe the area where the pillars are a little bit, but because you have such a strong subject of big, how do you say, big subjects, or subjects filling the frame, I don't mind that the building is a little bit noisy, but yeah, it's very solid. It's very good.
There's one more thing. And someone just pointed out in the comments that this person in the center is wearing headphones, and I haven't noticed that before. But that is interesting in itself. So like his little like smirk on the face is like, what is he listening to? Is he listening to the guy, to the Jesus guy? Is he listening to his own like funny podcast or whatever? And then the wires of those headphones sort of connect to the wires all the microphones, which is really cool too.
Yeah, it's like
notice that.
he's listening directly to what they're
Yeah.
speaking into the mic. Yeah, that's cool. Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen that one when I was going through them. Eastern Flair. Nicely seen.
Nice candid moment.
Yeah. I'm wondering what's going on. He doesn't look so happy.
Maybe stiff neck, getting a little neck massage.
Oh, maybe.
It's funny because initially I thought she was pulling him in for a kiss, but then I was like, wait, no, she's still wearing the mask. So maybe that's why he doesn't look so happy.
Yeah, it's a lovely scene. I like it.
Yeah, it's a nice moment.
Broad Davis. This looks like this guy's posing.
That's a little weird. What is he wearing on his head? Is it like a
shirt all wrapped up or something?
It looks like it's like some kind of fashion shoot maybe going on, and there's another camera man or woman on the right we don't see. But maybe this guy was just standing there like that. Oh. I think I feel the same way here then as you did, Jason, with the other one, with the old lady with the stripes. It is almost like a street portrait, right? But it's probably not.
Yeah. Datman is in the comment section. He said he had just stolen that tequila and was trying to figure out how to open it.
Okay. Oh, is this his shot or?
Yeah, he said we walked up and he was bashing it on the gate.
Oh wow!
Why don't we see that?
Where's the image of him bashing it on the gate?
Yeah.
Oh, does it have like one of these thingies? I saw that somewhere. They don't have them here in the US, I think, but I saw that somewhere before where they had like the kind of lock on the bottle, you know, so you can't open it up. So you can't open it up in the shop or something. They have to unlock it at the cash desk. So that's I guess that makes sense. So he like tried to open it up somehow.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the moment where he's like thinking about how to open it. Okay. Yeah.
Interesting. Makes us ask a lot of questions.
Yeah. But I don't know if we would have guessed it right if we wouldn't have told us. Maybe if we look at it long enough, because he's staring at the bottle. So.
I mean, I would have loved to see that action shot when he's like smashing the bottle on the gate. You know, that would have been. Or there's I think that person is on the chat and saying that he started sucking on the bottleneck. I mean that close up, that would have been an interesting shot.
Yeah.
Maybe that photo exists. So if you have that, maybe send it to us later.
Okay. Nice. Let's go to the next one. Daniel. Okay. Flash. Yeah. I know. I can see what this person was seeing, and it's busy enough to make it interesting to look at.
It's interesting because like I don't even use Flash because I'm like too uncomfortable flashing people in the street. But they're also just nothing but backs in this image, which feels like it's such that's contradicting what's happening in this photo. It's like you're using a flash, but you're only showing people's backs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's almost like the flash means you're brave, but it's also only backs. So it's kind of interesting, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Like,
Like,
I would have loved to see this scene from like the photographer standing on those stairs, you know, on the other side, and getting a more frontal perspective of what was happening.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Ben. Okay, yeah. I don't see many children playing with yo-yos outside.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while. I've seen a lot of kids recently playing with Rubik's cubes. You know, that's also like such an 80s and early 90s thing. That's apparently coming back. So maybe yo-yos have a renaissance comeback
maybe,
as well. This looks very like a Latin and like South America something, or maybe Southern Europe to me. I don't know. I feel like there's something here, but the scene is just not there at the right moment. Like that person, that kid with the toy, that is definitely a cool thing to have in the center. And I like that couple in the back, kind of like, you know, they're kind of on their phones, but they kind of look like close together. But then the left side of the photo looks a little bit messy to me, like that person in the white top, kind of like facing away.
I feel like the image ends right where the light is hitting that wall. You know, like that wall is everything. That's the background of this image. But I also feel like, you know, if you haven't, you know, you should look up some Gary Winogrand images, videos of him shooting in the streets, because I feel like the only thing that this photo needed was someone's attention, or at least somebody looking in the direction of the people that are viewing this image. And because there's so much background chaos, like if you would have just stood still here and held your camera up to your face, eventually somebody would have paid attention to you, and you snap that image, and we would have been connected. There would have been a nice anchor in this image, but right now our eyes are kind of like drifting all over the place, and we're not sure where to look. But if that kid with the yo-yo would have looked, or this woman in the foreground would have looked at you just because you waited long enough, you could have definitely played this off like you were photographing someone behind and just walked away after you got that moment. So this just needed a connection, I think.
Yeah.
A nice anchor in the image.
Everyone is really in their own zone. Like everyone is doing something. And because this lady in the foreground is looking away, I think we as the viewer also tend to look around the subjects.
She brings it down. She makes it heavy, right? Like.
Yeah, exactly. Because especially with the bike also in the background, overlaying. How do you say? You know, intersecting with the boy makes it a little bit chaotic, but. Yeah, I'd be curious if there are more versions of this. If that person just like played, like, you know, tried to work the scene a little bit. Because I would have with this thing, like I would have stuck around for at least a few minutes, as long as that kid is there, the couple is there in the back, and just waited for things to fall in place. Or as you said, Jason, to like get someone's attention, just a little like eye or something. Okay, next, Joseph. LRT. Yo, Jason, want to say something?
I mean, we kind of discussed the definition of candid earlier, and I feel like there is someone in this frame, but I feel like that doesn't really nail it. You know, I feel like we need to see a little bit more. This is a little too abstract, and if we were doing abstract this month, then it would have made sense. So I would say next,
Okay, Jasper. Oh, I know this place. This is definitely Osaka. Yeah, it must be Osaka. Well, whatever, it's not important. Um, I mean, it's definitely Candid. I don't know. I don't feel this is this. I think it should be more focused on him, a little bit more of his face, maybe. I think
Mhm.
I don't know what the background is adding to this. I think it's giving some context because I think this is Osaka, but is it important? I don't know. Yeah, it feels like there could be more you could do. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think I have to bring up what Mathias said earlier too about like, just the subject's not really there's no real connection here either, right?
Mhm.
Like the editing process is also a part of photography. Like this isn't really a moment. It's just kind of like it's a photograph that you took, and when we look at it, we have to know why you took it, other than you just kind of hit the button on the image. And the mask isn't anything that we haven't seen before. It's a guy smoking, so that's not something we haven't seen before. The editing is nice, but there's no reason to like spend time on this image. We get it all just from one gaze, and I feel like that is not something that you want with your images. You really want people to kind of be arrested when they look at it. They need to come back and revisit it and think about what's going on here. But right now we're seeing everything this image has to offer, and I think that makes it a little bit on the weaker side.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it kind of makes you wonder, like all of the photos we're looking at make you wonder, like what did the person see when taking this photo? What makes you decide, like pulling the trigger? We don't like just walk around. I hope like most of us don't just walk around and like snap, 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 snap. Like you take a moment, you see something that catches your eye, and then you try to frame the photo and take it. With this one, I feel like they saw something in this person. I guess it was maybe like smoking, smoking in the mask. There's smoke coming out of the mouth, I think. And so
now, if the smoke was coming out the mask, like you just said, that would have been crazy. That would have been a really cool photo.
It would have been cool. But in this case, even if it was more frontal, just to create some kind of connection to the subject, that probably would have made it for me. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Frederick Weimar. I liked it when I first saw it.
It's very cool.
Makes the question who probably the store owner probably put the bear over on top.
Very similar gaits, even though they're facing in opposite directions.
Yeah. I think it's this one is kind of, if this is set up by the shop owner, I feel like for me it's like when you photograph street art and someone walks by and you make that person part of the street art. But if the photo is mostly about the street art, I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit lazy. You know what I mean? I mean, it's probably the bear's probably put there for exactly this purpose of seeing this and smiling and being like, hey, look, there's a bear looking down.
I totally hear that, and I agree with it. But I also feel like if it were any other subject besides this guy, it definitely wouldn't work. But I feel like his posture and his mask kind of also lend itself to juxtaposition with the bear. Like they're almost the same. It's like a modern version of this wild animal just kind of window shopping. you know.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I agree with that. I mean, it's one of these things where, like in a place like New York, right? Like you see a lot of photos of people taking photos of things that were obviously set up by shops or by the city or whatever. And as someone who lives here, you see that and you're like, oh well, that's an easy one. That's around. Everyone knows that. Everyone could take that photo. With this place, like I have never been there. I haven't seen that. Like this might be around for maybe some limited time. So in a few years, this will not be there anymore. This bear will be gone. And then someone managed to capture the scene in an interesting way. And I agree, like that character down there makes it. The only thing that I would wish for was that there was no one standing in that door frame. That is like a little bit distracting for me, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to that. So I would have probably waited and seen if I can get another photo without that person in that background. Then it would have been perfect for me for what it is.
Maybe if the door was shut and
and
the bear's kind of like the security guard or the guard of this store. And
George Van Sant said there's some tension since the guy's in the P line of the bear.
You definitely see some kind of connection or relationship. So that's what I really like here.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go to the next one. It's from Kelly Reed. Yeah, it's very clean.
Yeah, very, very clean.
Like everyone is in the perfect walking position. The guy in the middle is okay. There's another one not wearing a mask. Oh no, there's 3 people not wearing, and the other 2, and they're 2 wearing it under the chin.
This looks like it's Russia, I think, because I see Izvestia in the back of the building. So that should be maybe Russia, Ukraine, maybe. I mean, it's very clean. You're right, and the composition is tight. I like the perspective, which is kind of like sort of waistline height, right? So you kind of get this interesting perspective where those central figures, the 2 in the middle, look sort of bigger than life, kind of like, and get like a lot of gravity around them. I feel like it's pretty clean. It's good for what it is. It captures a little slice of street life during the time of the pandemic.
Yeah. If I could add a few more people that are also perfectly positioned and make this like a full street full of heads looking in different directions, I know would be very difficult to achieve, because this one, having everyone, be in such a perfect place is already hard to get. But it definitely works. I think this is definitely a keeper and something you will look back and will definitely remind us of this year and what was going on and how people looked like on the street. Some wearing like these cheap masks you get, that disposable ones, and some have.
I almost feel that this image would have worked at the very beginning of the pandemic for me. At this point, we're kind of used to the face mask, and like in terms of subject selection and making an image, somebody needs to be naked here with some nipple tassels on it. The college professor isn't really doing it for me. The alignment and everything is really great, but it's composition, it's lighting, and it's subject, right? And these people don't really scream, "Look at me." And we've seen it. We've seen people with masks on. So I just want to, this is great. This works. But we need subjects too with the photographs. People got to stand out here. And these guys just kind of look. They're all wearing these taupe kind of colors. And
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe it's like we said in the beginning that it's clean. Maybe it's a bit too clean. Like it's almost too much like a stock photo.
Right.
But.
Cool. Next one, Liam Gordon. Jesus.
I dig this. I like the flag flowing through the frame. Even though it feels like the balance feels a little off, but because the flag is dominating the frame and it's showing that entire thing, it's right.
Yeah, the way the flag is hanging in the frame is pretty cool. And I know it's not a It's not a cap in the background. But if that would be like a neo cap underneath the flag, maybe passing by.
Oh, this isn't even in New York.
It says Colorado.
Colorado Avenue. I don't know where the hell that is. This must be Washington or something. Who knows? Yeah. Well, it's cool. I mean, obviously there are things that we could have done here in terms of perspective to just turn into the subject a little bit more and get that Jesus scene, the Jesus sign to kind of be a little more present in the image and not be cut off. Could have been cool, but for a candid moment, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would like to see the car not be there. Or I don't know. Because everything is so dark and the flag stands out so much. So for me, it's about the flag, and then the guy with the sign is almost like decoration for the flag. But the background is so dark. But at the same time, I kind of like the yellow as a contrast.
Yeah, it's a great pop of color for sure. But again, this is one of those free reign moments, right? So you could really fine tune this moment.
Well, the location is Colorado Springs. We just learned.
Okay.
The Liam Gordon.
Cool. Let me check how many we have left.
What are we? Oh my God!
Yeah,
we're at
I know. I have to be. Yeah, the longer we do the quieter I have to be.
So many.
Wait, where was the last one? Here.
Dude, there's like half left.
Is it really half?
Yeah.
Almost.
Pretty much.
Damn. Okay, let's speed up a little. Yeah.
That's the subject.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool character. And nicely captured.
Yeah. Good lights. Yeah, if we like a photo and, we like the photo, then we can just move on.
I like this one. I mean, like it's always a little bit of a challenge when this could be, I don't know, like I would have to see it closer. I'm not sure if it's a homeless person or well, maybe someone who had a few too many drinks. But there's something about it, like which says Produkte, products, like right in front of this grocery shop, and then there's this random kid coming in the frame. It has something humoristic, something funny, like funny but sad, funny but dramatic but tragic. That definitely catches my attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy on the bike definitely adds a lot to it because he's discovering it and we are discovering the scene with him. So it's nice. If it would just be the guy lying there, it would also be interesting. But I think.
But the guy on the bicycle is a bonus, looking dead into the camera. That's good.
Yeah, because then we know it's not staged, right? It doesn't look. If it's only one guy lying on the ground, it could be staged. Yeah. No, it's cool. I like it. Okay, next one. Tama Al-Shava.
It's a little busy for me.
Yeah, I mean, I like the mood. It's a pretty moment, I would say.
It's a good moment. It's just Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, like, this. I think it is a nice moment, but it kind of is more like a travel photo for me. Like walking around the street and like just like capturing the streets. It does not have any like element that stands out to me. It's a very reproducible scene for me.
Yeah, it also feels like the technique that they're trying to employ here by kind of silhouetting the subject with the background because of that stark whiteness in that line. It's great. It leads your eye straight to the subject, but the problem is the background in that black is too messy to create a defined silhouette, you know? Like her in the white dress in the book and all that stuff looks great if we could just see the outline of that moment, but the table and all that kind of creates too much intersecting, so it starts to feel a little busy. When you're doing silhouettes, right? It's like it needs to be clean.
Yeah. I like the face, the silhouette of the face.
Here's a face.
Yeah.
Oh, her face. Yeah, that's a good moment for sure. That glasses are kind of lit up.
Jonathan Sade. Okay.
That's cool. All the screaming faces on the shirt.
Yeah, that makes it, right?
Yeah.
Ah, good eye seeing this.
Yeah, cool shot.
Yeah. Little girl's hilarious.
Is such a contrast between, something innocent and something not so innocent.
Would you guys crop this?
I don't think it needs to be cropped.
No?
I wouldn't. I kind of dig it the way it is.
Okay.
This is interesting. I don't know if this is really candid, then it's really cool. He looks dead.
His eyes are under the water too, and they're open.
That's
super
creepy.
strange. It's super strange, yeah.
But yeah, it's a cool shot. Johnny Zhang. Yeah, it's a cool candid moment.
Sunset kiss.
It's
nice light.
yeah. I feel like it's hard.
And a Nikon.
Yeah.
Or a Nikon.
Yeah. Isn't it? Don't you guys also find it hard, like capturing people kissing in a group? Like when it's happening, it's very fast, right? And you don't have much time to frame it, unless you can anticipate it or before it's happening. But this one feels like the photographer knew it is about to happen.
Yeah. Also, this guy's mullet, he's probably just going to take a picture of that and then they kissed.
Yeah. Oh. Solid shot. Next one. No? Candid.
Yeah, it's nice candid. I just wish that car wasn't there. I know you can't remove it, but I feel like it'd be really nice. The light, the way it's bouncing off this area, and what's highlighted the trees in that wall, it's going across it.
Yeah.
The car is just so busy.
Agree about the car, yeah.
Yep. Miguel Barreto.
Okay, I did see this one earlier, and I did feel like the image is literally on the. It's just the guy and the girl, right? He's being caught looking at her butt, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more of the frame we need.
You see a close up. Damn it. Yeah, he's definitely checking her out.
Yep, you got caught.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe crop it into a vertical photo.
Yeah. Because there's nothing happening in the rest of the imagery.
But maybe the other guy is also looking at her. Looks like.
He's too far away.
Yeah.
Okay, Bartolo Cordero. I like the scenery. When I saw this, I thought this is probably a cool place to take photos, and everyone is on a different level. Yeah, just not so sure about that moment. What's going on? Yeah, I don't really know what that is. What they are doing.
This kid on the right seems to be the more interesting scene. Also, what are they shooting through? You see the vignetting on the corners of the edges? It looks like they're shooting through something, which it's very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Voyeuristic?
Voyeuristic, yeah. Yeah, I was wondering about this weird white stripe on the left, whether it's like something happened in the scanning or I don't know.
Oh, you think it's film? I thought it was a glass reflection.
Or maybe it's out of a car or something. Or, yeah.
It definitely has voyeuristic vibes.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's through a plastic bottle.
It's through one of those briefcase cameras.
It's definitely a little bit too detached from any action. Yeah.
It's like we are seeing some alien camera spying on humans. Okay, Adam Wilbert. Yeah, I mean, definitely catch the fleeting moment.
I mean, that light that's happening there is insane.
Yeah.
But I don't know if...
I mean, the light is probably also reflecting on her from the glass.
Yeah, she's definitely golden from that. But I feel like one of those scenes that you got to spend some time at and work, because this might not be showing off the full glory of what's happening there with that light, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I would probably make her more a bigger part of the frame. Maybe jump in front of her or crossing, you know, go more on the right side and having a, you know, right into the light. Or
well, jumping in front of her would be a little bit risky. I don't want to break the legs.
Anything for the shot.
Yeah. For street critique. Yeah. Austin Poon, Hong Kong Candid.
Very cinematic with a blurred out background.
Yeah.
Nice lights.
Probably took some time focusing. So, I don't know if this was autofocus, but getting so close and the shallow depths of field is not always easy.
This is like an 80, right? This has got to be like an 80 or something.
Yeah, probably,
maybe.
right?
So, I mean, the people on the bus look there like they're right up on her.
Yeah, I think it's a cool slice of time. How to say?
The bus lights are they're incredible. They're so beautiful. Those colors going on in the background, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, going back to that focal length discussion that we had earlier, I feel like, you know, there's something to these kind of candid street portraits that appeals to me that I probably wouldn't shoot myself, but that I like. And I know that some photographers are kind of, you know, that is their thing. And when you see it in the context of several photos, there's something to it. There's like a cinematographic nature to it that can work really well, especially when shot at night with like natural light, like here. There's something to it that I quite like.
Nice.
Yeah. Austin Poon, who took the photo, said that it was a 55 millimeter on a full frame. Interesting.
55, huh? What lens are you? What's a 55 lens that you got? I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, this is a pass.
Yeah. Not really much happening. Back of the person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Bella and I often criticize like photos that are taken from the back. It's like kind of a running joke on his Twitch stream. He's also looking at other people's Instagram photos, and whenever there's a back shot, you know, we always mention that, you know, oh, back shot. I don't think every back shot is bad just because it's a back shot, but here it is like, I don't know. I don't see the point, honestly, to take this photo. I'm not sure what the photographer saw here.
Yeah. Could be the blues, but I feel like if you're going to go for the abstract, you just got to get in a lot closer and pull these elements together.
Yeah.
The blue street sign, he's wearing a blue shirt. It could have been a nice abstract moment, maybe, but it just, the setting doesn't really give anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone is going close during this pandemic. Someone is working that 28 or could be 28.
God, I want an ice cream cone so bad, right? Sold.
I like how they are so focused on something that they don't even realize there's someone taking a photo.
Well, it seems like the girl on the bench realizes, right?
Maybe.
I don't think she's looking at the photographer.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like this photo, it's cool. Like girls' dresses. I personally always find it quite challenging. Like take photos of strangers' kids. You know, as close as this. So there's like that kind of element of just acknowledging that. I would have this photo would have been really interesting and great if both of them had an ice cream cone, and and there was something more that connects them. And the girl on the left seems a little bit like distracted or kind of like weirded out or whatever, something looking at something different. And even that girl on the right is kind of like, I don't know, she's kind of in between moments. She's kind of like in the in between state. So I feel like this has potential, but it's not fully used.
Yo. Lucas Fiore. Someone's getting tested or what?
Well, there's blood on his fingertips.
I just...
Yeah.
What's this?
Oh. Yeah.
So this person must be a medical worker, right? How do you get this moment? How do you get this close to these guys with a flash?
Well, maybe something happened to the photographer and they were brought to the hospital and they just couldn't stop taking photos.
Wow. What dedication.
Seriously.
Rico Gia 2, it says in the title. Okay. I mean,
cool photo.
It's not something we easily get when we take photos on. I mean, would you say it's street photography then?
I mean, yeah, I would if the circumstances were right. Like street photography doesn't mean you just have to be in the streets. If you walk inside a store and get a great photo, that's cool too. I guess I'm just wondering what these guys are looking at and how somebody was able to flash this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look pretty concerned, especially the guy on the right looks like, oh, this doesn't look good. And the blood on the fingertips really makes it for me. Like that is something that tells a little bit of a story. Like something happened. He tipped his fingers into some wound or something, which is really weird.
Yeah.
We need answers. So this is the one good thing about doing these streams, right? We can get answers to the photographs, which is fucking rare.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see the photographer thinking about his photograph before taking it, like juxtaposing like the burqa against something more, how do you say, freizügig.
To juxtapose, I mean, she really needs to be right next to that place. It needs to be a 28.
Yeah, we should need.
Like you can barely read.
Yeah, we need to see
right?
more.
What's going on here? It's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. But that would be much stronger.
But the idea, yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Good concept. Like you said, I see where his mind is at, but
maybe even imagine, like for me, ideally, like I just always imagine like the dream outcome or possibility of a scene, if she would be closer to the store and passing it by and having like maybe a little child on her hand, like on the right behind her, and then maybe talking to the child, having also this mother being a mother as a subject, and then seeing these models, could be an interesting juxtaposition. I don't know. Yeah, but it's definitely a cool idea, and I think if you stay there for a little bit longer, you have more opportunities to try different angles maybe. Okay, I don't know if I can pronounce that. Lucas Clear. I can see that as a nice street portrait, maybe, or like a fake Candid portrait.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see the reason for this angle making it so dramatic.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, then we move on. Jason, I think your mic is scratching something.
Was it in my beard? Is it still scratchy?
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah, I heard some scratching noises.
All right.
So, I guess they are socially distancing.
Interesting perspective.
Yeah.
And again, this is one of these like sort of documentary photos documenting a scene during the pandemic that, as I said earlier, like right now we're seeing a lot of these kind of things. Like I haven't seen this kind of thing in particular, but we know what it means. We know what the story is behind it. But in a decade, in maybe 2 decades, when people start forgetting about the pandemic, they will see it and it will make them wonder. And they will ask questions about it. And I like the geometrical aspect of it. The position of chairs and people. Yeah.
Cinematic. So overused the term cinematic, but
interesting format.
Yeah.
Like almost kind of panoramic. Yeah?
We have almost 40 images left, just so you guys know.
Oh, okay. Let's move faster.
Okay, yeah. Abbey Rose, also a regular. Yeah.
This is an awesome moment.
Yeah.
This is another one of those free reign moments. So, as Mathias would say, I'd like to see the other images you took, because I would hope you didn't take just one here.
Yeah.
But it also looks like she's working.
Yeah.
Abby, do you work here?
Oh yeah, right.
She's behind the plastic guard.
That would be a cool project, right? Taking photos.
Yeah. Actually, my friend just started doing this at his deli in Brooklyn. And Mo, if you watch, and sometimes he watches this, he started photographing people from behind the deli counter in the, the cigarette box. It's like a square with the cigarettes overhead. He was photographing people through that, and he just did it on his cell phone. I was like, dude, this is a project. You need to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Just reminds me of that.
Cool.
That must be like my favorite COVID mask so far that I've seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think stepping a step back, maybe showing a little bit more of that person on the right.
Yeah.
Too good here, but yeah, it's a cool scene. I would love to see more.
I
Of
mean,
that.
just that girl in the mask standing in that store is gold. Like you know.
Yeah, she just confirmed that she's working there. It's a family store, she's saying. So probably lots of families going there. Yeah, cool. This was her father,
She
and she
forgot her
forgot her
mask.
mask.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's cool.
This was her father, and she forgot her mask.
Yeah.
Well, that's so cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, you should definitely keep shooting these moments when you work there. Nice. Oscar H. Vasteson.
It's raining, right?
So, shall we guess the focal length again?
55.
Could be about right.
This feels a little bit tighter even. Yeah. Yeah, that's the the strong point of a 50 or 80 or 90 or tight lens is that you can isolate your subject more easily than shooting 28 or 35.
Mm-hmm.
So we have no problem focusing on the subject here. I like this moment. Like it looks like he's the father and he's looking somewhere, I think. Watching out. It's raining. They're covering, hiding from the rain. Yeah.
Personally, when I shoot anything that's above 50 or 50, I feel like those lenses are meant for more abstract work. When I see people just shooting like normal moments like this or just like these scenes, it's lacking context, and I want to see more of this environment, and it feels like we're suffocating the scene here. So if you're going to shoot telephoto, I feel like it should be a little more abstract. I could be wrong. You do whatever you want, but this just doesn't feel like the right lens choice for this moment. I feel like I want to see the pouring rain more around him and this little sliver of dryness that they found, because it's almost like this refuge, you know?
Yeah.
He's protecting his son or his daughter underneath this little awning, and that's a moment.
Yeah. So, going on then.
Yep.
Jack McDonald.
That's in Hollywood,
Yeah.
eh? Maybe.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when I saw this if they're checking out her shoes or the stars on the floor, on the ground.
Yeah, interesting lights. Another little spot of light on the girl on the left.
Yeah, her pose is very majestic. Like she's about to levitate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard for me to see like the connection between the other twos and on the right. I'm sure they belong together. They know each other, but I'm not sure what they're looking at, and if they're just looking at the stars.
Gajan just rolled in.
Oh, yo, Gajan. We can't say shit about Fuji then.
Yo, he said his favorite camera now
right.
is like a Leica M6.
Then continue bashing the Fujis. I don't know. I think it's definitely a candid moment. Yeah. I think we move on. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I actually really like the placement of the tables and the chairs. I feel like this horizontal would have been nice. The aliens and everything else kind of almost don't need to be here.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like just visually, it's nice.
Yeah, a horizontal crop on this would be sick.
Cool. Then we can move on. Christoph Dellas. No one wants to say
No.
anything.
Well,
It's a good travel shot. It's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
travel shot. It doesn't
yeah,
feel like
yeah, similar to that
Yeah.
other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the geometric shape of that path and kind of how it leads and how it guides the eye, you know, through the image. But then there's not enough happening in terms of like, you know, characters or anything to really catch my attention.
Yeah. Great photo, but it doesn't feel street.
Sasa Milankovic. I don't know. I get a feeling that these are friends of the photographer. I don't know. If not, I think
It's hard to say.
I would.
The lighting is
Yeah,
beautiful. Everything about this is beautiful, and it feels like a nice capture of like adolescence.
I would love to see more of that lake in the background. It probably looks like super stunning with the sunset, and then having them in the foreground, like not paying attention, could be nice juxtaposition. Because it looks like they're not really, excited to be there.
Yeah. It's not all about subject isolation. Like sometimes showing a bit more of the environment is also very nice, can help the photo.
Yeah.
Get off your phone, watch the sunset, enjoy the moment.
Seriously, it's so purple and beautiful outside.
Yeah.
It's like the most gorgeous magenta hues.
Yeah.
She's on
Better
TikTok.
get some blue light instead of that. Nice. Yeah, nice timing. Nice timing.
I see what they're going for here. Yeah.
Arturo. I like that motion blur. Gives it some dynamic.
Yeah. But then there's some sharpening on this image, which is kind of really messing with my eyes. It's like motion blur, but then they like sharpened it, right?
Yeah.
The clarity's up on them, so.
I'm personally a little bit over those shots where, you know, you integrate a poster or something in the background, like a graphic, into and make it play with passersby. Just seen so many of them. I just feel like I think they only really get my attention when they're really extraordinary, like really well done. There's something about it that like really wows me. Where like with this one, I think, you know, it's decent, but I've just seen so many of these kind of photos.
Yeah,
indeed.
Yeah, nice flowers.
Nice flowers. I like them making an attempt to have a stronger foreground, and then possibly waiting for people with the same colors to show up into the image. That's also a nice element. Like this is the start of, this is a good beginnings. Like working to add more elements in the scene that you're in. You know, this wasn't the first image you took, so I respect it.
Yeah. I think I want to move on. Scopic Drive.
He's like too tired to even be upset that you're taking his image.
Exactly. Yeah, it's cute. I like it.
Yeah.
Good moment.
Good moment.
I like the little play with the hand.
Yeah.
Pedro Banderia. I like that it's a vertical shot it's more about like he's part of this park scene. I like it. He's very relaxed. He even brought a cup. A mug.
I like his sandals on the floor there. It's a nice little.
Yeah, that's nice. I think we should just say something when we have to if we have some real critique, to give.
Yeah.
I like this black and white. The tones are nice. But the guy on the right, I think, is it's not a statue.
Statue. Yeah. It's a good composition, good lighting, good editing, but the wrong moment. This woman looking away on her phone is not. It's not the image.
The guy is a statue, you're saying?
I think so.
Yeah, he's bronze. Bird eating some chicken? Is that what's going on here?
Maybe chicken or veal. I think.
I prefer my pizza rat.
Pizza rat. Well, it's part of city life.
It's not bad. It's a good city moment, but it also just feels too close. Sorry, I know I keep coming back to that, but it just...
Yeah. This looks like Berlin.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I think so. Eberswalder Platz. I don't know. The photographer's very close and shoots wide. I like it. This is like my kind of style, what I like. But I don't know, not
why?
much going on.
Yeah.
Like who is he looking
Yeah,
at?
not much going on.
They both have she has a phone around her. Yeah, I don't know. It's a photo about people on phones.
Yeah.
I think we can go next.
Reshot alarm.
Oh, this is like 400 millimeter lens.
It's like power lines or telephone lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting crop. Like we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I think we need some more context. Like, I would love to know why. Like, what intrigued the photographer to take the photo?
I feel like a lot of the images that we're seeing in the last few are like, I'm not quite sure. People are not fully sure what their styles want to be yet. Like this seems like somebody wants to be a little more abstract and play around with lines and geometry and all those things, because whatever's happening there is interesting with all that stuff hanging over the whole scene. But these two people don't really add to it at all. So I almost want to just be like, focus on your subjects, or focus on making whatever's going on up there more pleasing, and then let subjects into the frame. Because right now, the two elements don't really, there's no reason for them to be together.
Yeah. Moments.
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. I was searching for some more context and...
Love it.
I mean, the guy, I don't know what the guy has to do with the message. Or, let's move on. I think we have to hurry. Pablo Pons.
Yeah.
It's a nice travel shot. It's a nice scene. But they look so unmotivated. Like, enjoy your vacation or whatever you're doing. Like, have fun.
Right.
They almost...
But also, this is a black and white image. Them intersecting with the boats and having this much gray tones is just making everybody kind of get lost.
Yeah.
Step over to the left, put them over the water. Isolation.
Ciao, Oliveira. We had one guy was smoking with a mask before. Yeah, if it's so tight, it feels like a street portrait.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think if you go tight with a tight lens, then I don't think it's acceptable to have like something like a chair or something in the background. Making the background
you really got to
busy,
clean it up.
because it would be so easy to just move, I guess, one step to the right and have him behind a clean background. So yeah, let's go to the next one. Jay Fay. I like this one when I saw it, because every kid here is doing something different, or yeah, I like the girl on the handrail here. I don't know if she's sliding down or trying to go over
The
it.
potential here is so strong.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think these two kids in the foreground, they're probably running towards something and then might not come back. So this was probably
the potential is really strong, but this is really hard to control, right? Like this, the way this kid on the right fills the frame is like pretty perfect, but everything else is kind of like not 100% there. You know, there's this middle space that is kind of empty. If there was like another couple of kids hanging on that rail, that might have been it. But that's so hard to control. That's so much up to like, chance.
Yeah. Francisca da Silva. Yeah.
This is a cool moment. I like everything that's going on. It's pleasing, except the gestures aren't strong enough. Like, I want to see this guy sweeping, whatever he's doing, digging. I want to see him full swing, throwing some dirt to the side, like a bigger gesture, because there's obviously action happening in this moment, right? So the two of them kind of chatting him up while he's working hard is like, that's great juxtaposition, but this gesture wasn't it, I don't think.
Yeah, I also like this moment. Very classic.
Yeah.
Okay, David Lloyd. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good that we see like this low angle being on eye level with the dog. Can make a photo more interesting, especially when you shoot dogs getting on their level. I don't know. I feel like it should be more about the dog than the rest.
I like the bubbles coming in, kind of floating into the frame.
My guess is that the photographer wasn't sure what to include in the frame, and they decided to include everything, and I feel like they're not really put together nicely. Like it's a little bit loose.
Yeah.
Well, it's very hard because you have to react fast and make a quick decision, and maybe the bubbles, then you have to hope for the best that the bubbles are in some kind of interesting position. It's very hard.
But you're right. Maybe if this is about the dog, maybe letting the dog fill the frame a little bit more, like waiting for a couple more seconds until it's really filling the frame more, and cutting out the guy.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have been it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This feels like a crop. So this is like a tight lens or a heavy crop. Yeah.
It's just like a bunch of folks having fun filming themselves, right? But it's not like, it kind of feels a little bit staged, obviously because they're posing for the photographer or videographer. So yeah, it's it's a nice little like street scene, but it's not like nothing really stands out to me as like candid shot.
Yeah, maybe if this was a crop, maybe I wouldn't crop in that tight. I would probably like to see a little bit more of the environment. Maybe there's something.
That's where my mind always goes. I don't know if you guys follow that Instagram account, but like influencers in the wild. You guys follow that?
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Sounds
that's
very
what,
interesting. I never.
Yeah,
seen
it's
that.
very interesting. I feel like to see again, juxtaposition is everything, right? Like to see people like completely just like doing their social media thing, making their music video with people just walking their dogs with cups of coffee in the background, like. That's great because it just shows how ridiculous everyone is these days, you know. So.
Oh my god, I gotta check this account out. Sounds hilarious.
Yeah, influencers in the wild.
Okay, Freddie Mycock.
That's not his name, dude.
Yeah, I know.
This guy.
I don't know. It's
Also, not COVID.
Yeah.
Not during.
I know.
I don't believe it.
I will have to pass on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Jack Habit. I like this. This looks. It's definitely a moment.
Also, no maps.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a
This
ordinary scene.
Yeah, it's a very ordinary market scene. Like, I wonder if there was something else that happened just before or after this scene. Like, you know, when that person was carrying that slab of meat, you know, maybe that would have been an interesting shot, or I don't know, something else. Like, as it is, it's kind of just like, you know, document an early morning market delivery situation, which there's nothing really here that stands out.
But these are also the kind of photos we take anyways, because we know in a few decades, you know, people will look back and find this super interesting.
When no one eats meat
it's
anymore.
Like, what? This is not soy meat? You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, this Sam doesn't like this stuff. You're about to say about art, using art on walls. I already know what you're going to say.
Without the art.
But also, since they're not interacting, it just looks like this little girl's trying to pickpocket him or worse. So.
Right, I didn't see that. But...
Please elaborate and on or worse.
Yeah, I think it needs that to have some interaction. It would be awesome if he would wipe off some of the lines from another figure, and then the other figures are like trying to get him away from this other figure. Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Is this the same person? No. Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
I guess that's a baker doing his job.
This feels again a bit voyeuristic, shooting from like far away into some. I don't know. I think the difference between, you know, if you shoot a 28 or 35 street photo and someone discovers themselves in the street photo, just because you took this photo like in next to them or in this moment with them, I feel like even though the person that would not doesn't like to be in the frame, but can see what you are trying to achieve. And this one feels, if I would be this guy and I would see this online someday, I would be like, what? Who did stalk me when I was working? And
What the
you know,
fuck?
yeah, what the fuck? And next time I have to make sure all the doors are closed, and you know, it feels,
Yeah.
it gives off that sneaky vibe, and
Yeah.
even though the composition
I
is
feel like
nice and the light, the colors,
composition's
yeah,
nice. I guess that's kind of where I go back, where I keep saying I feel like some people want to be more abstract because this is obviously a telephoto lens, and you should shoot things that are abstract, that have color blocking and stuff like that, because the subject shouldn't be the afterthought in the photograph if you want to do street photography. And a lot of these things, the subject is the afterthought. The subject needs to come first, and then everything else kind of like you figure that out on the fly as you're trying to get the best frame. But right now, this guy isn't really doing anything interesting. So this image tells me that you were more concerned with the colors, the window, and not anything about what this guy was doing.
no, probably.
Yeah, maybe the bakery was like working on a new website, and they commissioned the photographer to take some photos. I could see that.
Yeah.
Come here in the middle of the night and photograph us feeling up some loaves.
Massaging those loaves.
But you have to stand outside and don't shoot from inside.
Just to make it look more authentic, you know. Yeah, you know how like some people commission street photographers for their weddings, for example, because they want to have that kind of look for their wedding photography. You know, maybe this bakery is like really into street photography.
They checked out the hashtag street photography and saw some long lens
We
street
want
shot.
you to make our friend look cool and hip. That's great.
I think Tama is he's probably in the chat. I saw him commenting.
Yeah. Well, I think there were two people that were like, maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, but if not, then this would be his second photo. I'm not sure. Yeah, nice light. Nice light. Clean composition.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would probably walk by if I would see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nicely photographed. Okay, we are almost at the end, guys. So let's quickly finish this. McDonald's.
Almost.
Yeah.
This is almost perfect, right?
Yeah.
This guy on the right he's the photograph. The rest of the people just kind of needed to fall in line, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think there needs to be some connection to the sign if we choose to show the sign, you know.
That's why I feel like it's this guy on the right? He's got the yellow, he's got the red going on there, he's repeating the colors. But everybody else just kind of got too bunched up there.
Yeah, I feel like when you take photos like this, you probably have like a ton of shots because you kind of stand in that stream of people rushing in, rushing out from whatever, maybe like an airport or whatever building that is. And this one probably for me personally wouldn't make the cut. I would be much more picky about getting everyone in line perfectly, or to consider it a keeper.
But also, no goddamn mask. Why is everybody trying to scam us? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, maybe we just didn't realize it, but people were sending us stuff from the archive. But only.
I mean, rightfully so. People aren't out shooting, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we got to give them a pass. This looks like France.
Yeah. Yeah, nice colors. I don't know.
Nice colors. Subjects seem to not.
Let's move on.
I want to see a guy in a suit with his hands in his pocket, full strut.
In Marrakesh. This is captured in Marrakesh. Sofiane Lagrini. Uh,
I like the
yeah,
outfits. The outfits are kind
they're
of
almost
cool.
in sync,
Like the tool.
but they're looking
Yeah.
in opposite directions. So I like that.
Which I also love with the different color masks. Like everything about them is completely
Right, yeah.
They thought of everything.
Yeah,
I love them.
Yeah.
I think this is they're so cool.
it's pretty cool. And then you also have the two flags that kind of amplify the idea of it being a mirrored image. You know.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, can't do much wrong if you see a strong subject. Maybe
Yeah.
I would love to see a little tighter frame, going a little bit closer, but
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, or follow them.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Nick Ivanov. Yeah, is this Sudoku or what is he doing?
Yeah, that's a scratch
That's-
off. This is very New York,
Scratchy.
right here.
Mhm.
You would say Sudoku, Sam. It's hilarious. Oh, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is a very New York street scene for sure. You see people with their cup of coffee playing their scratch offs in front of every deli you go to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, because they are everywhere, I think there needs to be something else than just a guy scratching it. You know, there must be like someone, I don't know, like someone like having some of them in his mouth and like scratching some others, or like being surrounded with like tons of them or whatever,
Yes,
like
it's
something
spilling out of his
else.
pockets.
Mhm.
Yeah. Quentin Auslet. Yeah, I think the photographer was hoping that these two guys were, looking at the mannequins, but
No such.
seems like they're just nerds that don't care. Yeah, this I think it feels like it feels like the photographer didn't succeed at the vision yet, or I know it feels random.
Coming up against some questions of morals here.
No, but I mean, we see just by the framing that the photographer chose to include the mannequins. So the
Definitely.
photographer wants to show us something here, but the two guys on the left, they couldn't care less. Maybe that's a story, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not strong enough.
Yeah.
Okay, Dennis Yildiz. It's out of focus.
Oof. But those socks are fucking popping.
Yeah, socks are burning.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna say pass on this one.
Yeah.
The last one, guys.
Wow.
Oh, it's an unusual perspective.
Yeah, but it's very clean. I enjoy looking at this photograph.
Yeah, it also feels very COVID, the pandemic-y, like the empty streets, no cars. Like that person looks like an possibly older person with a little like thing. Oh, maybe not. It's like a shop owner.
Yeah, you meant like the oxygen tank. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, something like that. I was thinking like that, like someone, like being able to cross a usually busy street without any like precaution because it's so empty and it's pandemic. It's the pandemic. Yeah, but I like looking at it too. It's very pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish this person would be, on one of the sides of the street, not on the lines. It's just a little unsatisfying seeing him cross the lines with all that nice empty space. Okay. We did it.
Wow. We did
Wow.
it.
So-
Holy smokes. So 1 hour turned into
Yep.
3 hours. We haven't done this in
I know.
Dude, it's 3 hours.
And I'm so
Stream.
sorry for everyone who's still here, and of course you, Matthias, for still hanging out with us.
Thank
No,
you
it's
so
been
much.
great. It's been
I know
great.
it's for you guys. It's time to get dinner, right? It's like almost 8.
Yeah,
I
dinner's
am
on the
getting
table.
hungry.
Yeah, and I definitely need to sleep soon. Okay, guys. As always, at the end we wanna decide on a new theme. So you guys can give us suggestions in the chat, and Matthias, you can also give us a new theme if you want for September. Anything related to street photography, if you have any ideas. Jason, you as well, of course.
Well, I also feel like Matthias could come up with something that's pretty good. Or we could do something in vain with the style that he shoots in, but who could shoot like him? Nobody.
I mean, we talked
Shoot
a lot
medium
about
format.
layers today. And I love the idea of layers. And
That's
I
so
think that
funny. I
education-
was gonna say layers too. I should have
Really?
just said it. I swear I
I
was
mean-
gonna say layers. I was gonna
Cool.
say paying you homage. We should shoot some layers.
Yeah. But didn't we do
Yeah.
layers already?
I thought we did, but I was thinking about it and I was like, I that's why I didn't say it, to be honest. I was like, did we do layers? But I don't remember ever doing layers.
I think we did layers. I'm pretty sure.
We did.
Yeah, we did layers when Ibario Next was with us. We talked about
that's
layers.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay.
So yeah, we can't do layers again.
Hmm.
Can you still hear me and see me through Skype?
Yeah.
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 It came back.
Okay, now
Okay, that's done. What about face masks?
Mm.
Just to make sure that we have face masks that photos were taken recently.
Wow. Or we could just do like I mean, is this in poor taste to do a category just called pandemic so people can post anything that they've shot in the last 6 months?
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I had enough of that. With all the quarantine selfies and
Yeah.
Austin is saying blue hour photography. I would like blue hour. Trying to shoot
That's
only.
early morning or
Yeah.
late.
I mean, that's
Mm.
quite a challenge because you have to get up early.
That's quite a
Or-
challenge. Yeah.
Gosh.
Some people work for a living.
Yeah, but
Austin,
some
get a
people
job,
get in the
Austin.
work to get the photo. No excuses. Yeah.
Wow. Literally no one in the chat room. There's 100 people. No one's giving us any suggestions.
So, I see reflections here. Long focal
done,
lengths.
like-
Connection. No. Yeah. Portraits.
Happy?
Happy?
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Did you guys do a beach series, like beach photography, street on the beach?
That would be
No,
fun.
only because it's hard to limit because of people.
Mm.
We don't know where everybody is, you know?
That would have been a perfect theme for July or August, when people actually had time to go to the beach.
I mean, this year I guess no one really traveled,
Yeah.
right? So that kind of
Yeah.
makes it.
Hmm. I guess we could just tell people to keep submitting some street photography.
I can already see us and I can see us doing another 3-hour stream and then black and white,
Someone,
street flash.
Austin just mentioned strangers making eye contact. I kind of like that because that to make that work, it really has to be good. Like to make it not too
Ooh.
distracting.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Let's just do eye contact.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
great.
challenging.
But it's not a portrait. I want to be clear. It's
Not a
not
portrait.
asking someone for a
oh
portrait.
yeah.
That's great. I love that. Eye contact.
Unstaged, but with eye contact.
Yeah, that's super
Fantastic.
cool. I like it.
I'm very stoked.
I'm definitely down for animals on the street as well, but maybe another time. Just
As long as they're making eye contact, it works.
Exactly. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think we just decide without the audience then. Usually we ask the audience.
Yeah, I mean,
if
yeah, usually, but we
we
like it.
it, so we
I
do it.
feel like it's very strong. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I really look forward to see
All right.
that.
I'm super stoked.
Okay, let's just call it eye contact then. Cool. Definitely. Thanks, Matthias, for hanging out. If you have anything you want to share with us, any news, updates, any big things coming up, you have something coming up with with this NYC collective. Something I saw something on your story. That's probably
That's
important
right.
for locals.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not
Okay.
right. Because of the pandemic, we are unable to meet in our space here in Brooklyn. So we also have moved to virtual spaces, to Zoom rooms and other places to meet up. So that's, it's in a way, it's a blessing for people who want to interact with NYC SBC, with our street photography collective here, because they can join us online. And we have monthly photo crit meetings, very similar to what we've been doing here over the last 3 hours. Ours usually takes like 2 hours or at max, where anyone can join us and show their photos. It's usually like, you come in, you show like 10 photos, recent photos you've taken, and you get critiqued from everyone who's online. So that's an option. Check it out on our website, nyc-sbc.com. You have got it right there. And then another event that we have coming up is a little chat, a discussion between NYC SBC members and members of the collective from San Francisco, SFC PC, and we will discuss, just street photography in general. I think we'll talk a lot about shooting during the pandemic, and obviously what makes the difference between shooting in New York versus San Francisco. So I think it'll be an interesting discussion. We have 3 members from each collective. I'll be one of the NYC SBC guys on the chat. So yeah, join us if you have a chance. It's free, and and it will be about the same time that we started today, so it should be possible for people from around the world to join.
Nice. Do you guys miss doing this locally again? I mean, I know you met like every month or so. Are you still doing that, or not at the moment?
We're not meeting in person. It's still not a thing here in New York. It's not like no one would really feel comfortable doing that. So we're definitely missing that. Like, when we go out, we often run into each other. Even during the pandemic, you always see someone, some of the folks in the streets. But it's definitely something that we're missing. Not only for the monthly meetings, we have this space in Brooklyn where we do regular exhibitions and workshops and other things where that depend on people coming together. So all of this has kind of been canceled. But we also have a film development service that we have established in that space, nice. And that is still up and running, and has been running over the last few months. And we've had a lot of people coming in, developing their film, scanning their film. So if you are in the New York area and you're interested in doing that, definitely hit us up. And it's very affordable if you want to have it done by our team. And oh, and anyways,
your scans look very clean, so seems to
we have really great scanners, and so you can get really great quality scans from our space.
Nice. Any personal goals for this year? Like, you probably you will work on your Lost Summer project, I guess.
I'll continue working on that. No big plans for this year. I just guess we just all trying to survive this thing and get through the year, and
New Year's Eve will be interesting, right?
Yeah, it will be weird. I mean, it has been a bit of a challenge, not only being disconnected from our local community here, but also from, our family and friends anywhere else. You know, I have family in Japan right now, and in Germany and in Australia. So we've been kind of cut off from all of those people at the moment. So I'm hoping to hoping to reconnect with them soon. And like in terms of personal projects, I'm really curious what the Lost Summer project will be, and I'll share some more work on my Instagram soon, so keep an eye out for that. But no big plans yet for the rest of the year. I'm just trying to
be ready for what's to come.
Ready for whatever's next. I mean, we've got elections coming up in November here in the States, and I think that will be an interesting to witness. It's so difficult to foresee what that will bring, and I'm sure, Jason, you're in the same boat. I think this year has been so crazy, so I wouldn't be surprised with anything happening.
Never.
Man, I'm terrified, to be completely honest with you. I'm just trying to plan my life to see where we go after that, because at this point, I don't see a way out of the craziness that's happening in this country. And if this orange Cheeto is still in office, then that ruins everything I've ever thought America could be.
I know. Yeah, there needs some healing to be happening for within society, within the country.
Yeah.
And I hope.
I already heard people moving away from New York, or somewhere more quiet and remote, getting out of that craziness. Yeah, I hope you guys stay safe over in NYC. It's always, whenever there are news coming from New York, then it's always some crazy shit.
Bad, dude. Americans are weird. I mean, I don't even consider myself American, even though I'm born and raised here. But these are some of the dumbest bastards on this planet, bro. like, just put a mask on. It's really not that much. Everybody's so they don't really care about anyone else, and it's becoming so obvious here that it's not even that big of an infringement on people's lives to just put a mask. We can't even do that. Just goes to show how much we don't care about our fellow people in this country, So it's really changed my opinion of this place, being born from here, and I'm pretty disgusted at this point. So, and that doesn't even go into the protest. That just has to do with the pandemic. So, yeah, we'll see what ends up happening.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see you in Germany.
Come over to Germany when things get too crazy. Any news from you, Jason? Any things coming up?
Well, I just did that photograph for Leica in the Modern Kiss, which I was selling prints, and I'm donating all the proceeds. It's been great. A lot of people have kind of jumped on and bought those prints. I'm gonna figure out some gift cards and some classes for BIPOC kids who are trying to learn photography
nice.
and want to get some gear and stuff like that. So something with Adorama and Leica to give out some of those academy classes that they do. Other than that, no, there's a few prints left on my website. If anybody's interested, it's Jason Roman Photography, superunique.com. And 100% of the proceeds are going to me gifting people some gear and classes for photography. So if you're somebody that's interested in any of that, reach out to me, and we'll see what I can do. Super cool.
Cool.
Great work. Sounds great.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Then
right,
I guess we are done.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Perfect. We killed it.
Thanks everyone for submitting, and hopefully we did give you enough feedback this time. We always try to give everyone a fair chance, but I think today we actually went through all of them. So next time we will make sure to do a better job at selecting the works beforehand, so we get through them quicker. Stay tuned for updates. I will update the website and links to upload for the next theme probably tomorrow. As always, go in the video description. There will be a link to my website, to the project page of Street Critique, where you find more information. That's it from my side. So see you guys next time. Thanks everyone, and bye from me, and bye from my guests.
Bye from me too. Bye from all of us.
Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Bye, guys.
Okay.